Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Iran cannot have a nuclear program. Strong words from President Donald Trump, but right here in San Antonio, we got a protest against his action to strike on Iranian nuclear sites. We'll hear from people who say that this isn't their first time speaking about this issue.
Police and SWAT called to an East Side neighborhood last night. What we know about a standoff this morning.
And 2 overnight shootings in the parking lots have victims in the hospital this morning, where at least 20 shots were fired. Coming up, more details on what led up to this.
All right, so a number of things to get to here over the next couple of hours. Welcome into GMSA.
Yes, first let's get over to meteorologist Justin Horn. Justin, I tell you, those showers popped up, surprised a lot of people this weekend. Are we going to be experiencing some more rain conditions this day?
I think it'll be a sort of similar setup where we get some of these random pop-up afternoon storms. Maybe not so much today, but the next couple of days we have some rain chances there. It's what I like to call the rainfall lottery. It's not going to be for everybody, but maybe you do get a downpour, and at least there is a small chance in the forecast. Today it's going to look pretty similar to the last few days, 87 midday, 93 this afternoon. Just a 10% chance of rain today, but as I said, those rain chances start to come up a little bit. Reason being, as we look at the water vapor imagery here, a little swirl here in the Gulf of Mexico, and these will not only have one, but probably 2 of these starting to move in, going east to west. They don't typically generate a lot of rain, but they do give us a little bit of lift, and that'll be moving in the next couple of days. So that's why I'm a little hopeful for some rainfall covers, maybe 20 to 30% each day. Timing is going to be mainly afternoon through sunset. Amounts at half an inch at most. Most of us will see 1/4 of an inch or less. And this is only briefly going to interrupt your outdoor activities. But as I said, all week long, a chance, at least a chance, for a little bit of rain around San Antonio. No rain this morning, though. The roads should be dry for your morning commute. Let's check in with RJ for the latest there. Good morning, sir.
All right. Good morning, Justin, and good morning to everyone out there. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend and everyone was safe as they kind of got ready to go for the rest of the week here. 37 and 410 traffic is looking pretty good out there for our drivers. Let's get you back on the rotating shot. We got 281 on the north side here at Overlook Parkway and 281 and Encino Rio. No major delays there. So the only thing we're seeing at the moment is going to be some overnight construction in our area. So let's go ahead and take you to the maps and see exactly what we're looking at on the northeast side of town. This is going to be our northbound traffic going from Randolph Boulevard over to Topper Wine. Right now, all main lanes at Wiener Road and 35 are closed at the moment as crews continue some of that construction work on the NEX Central Project. 10 at 1604, things are clearing out there on the far northwest side of town. And what we're shot here at the downtown area, because just want to remind our folks that we still have construction in place there at 35 Alamo and South Laredo Street. The rest of the city, everything else is looking pretty good. There is a bit of a closure right here at 10 at Woodlawn. We're going to keep an eye on that situation as well. So we got Alex Gommans on the roads for us on this Monday morning. Alex, how are things looking out there?
RJ, good morning and happy Monday. Right now, I'm going to start drive cam on the south side. Check this out, 35 southbound near Military Drive. I just went through downtown not that long ago, and just a reminder, downtown traffic has switched sides now. So 35 south, the lower level is back open, but the upper level is now blocked. So if you're coming down to the downtown area, just know that the right lanes are going to be blocked from now on. RJ.
Okay, thank you for that update, and we will check back in with Alex in just a little bit. Guys, back to you.
All right, as global tensions between the United States and Iran are surging after that recent bombing of 3 Iranian nuclear sites, they're being felt here at home, too.
Yeah, less than 24 hours after President Trump announced the military Operation Midnight Hammer, protesters were already organizing downtown. Our Devin Karp was there yesterday when that happened. He has a look at what they are now saying. Devin, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Some of the protesters I spoke with say this is far from their first rodeo in town. They've come out to mobilize recently, protesting actions by increased ICE activity here in San Antonio, even joining nationwide rallies last Saturday as part of a lot of drawback against the president's administration and the actions themselves. But some of the protesters I spoke with say that yesterday was the final straw that they needed to come out. So yesterday's protest was organized by the Party for Socialism and Liberation San Antonio. It happened downtown at the Torch of Friendship. That's the big red art installation there. Attendees said that they've seen an increase in people attending those demonstrations over the last few months and say that they're opposed to involvement in another global conflict. Now, I spoke with one woman who says this is far from her first time speaking out against this specific issue.
Actually, I started protesting the Vietnam War in the 60s, and here I am again protesting another war. Why do we have to do this, and why are we always in a war?
Now, the groups say that they are willing to protest this week as the situation develops. We're going to continue to look at how this all impacts San Antonio, including the price you'll pay at the gas pump. That's going to be coming up later this morning for 5:30 at GMSA. For now, I'll send it back to y'all. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you so much, Devin. Obviously, there are many, many people on both sides of this issue, and we'll be covering throughout this situation. Okay, so we got a standoff overnight with a large police presence, including a SWAT team in an East Side neighborhood.
So this happened near the 800 block of Potomac, not far from East New Braunfels. We're still trying to figure out what the cause of the police presence was for, but we do know that police set off tear gas in this home. We will continue to update you as we learn more.
A trip to a local tattoo shop turned violent when gunfire erupted in the parking lot. Police say the two men in a white car opened fire, spraying at least 20 shots at another car. A man in his 20s was hit in the arm and rushed to the hospital, and his female passenger wasn't hurt. But police say that the victim isn't talking about what led to the shooting.
A bar fight at Hillsendale spilled into the parking lot as crowds of people were heading home for the night overnight on the northwest side. Police say one person involved ran to his car, grabbed a gun, and opened fire before speeding away. A man was shot in the back and rushed to a hospital. A second victim showed up at a nearby clinic. Detectives are still trying to piece together what happened.
Police are still searching for a suspect after a shooting in the northwest side. SAPD responded to a fight on Oak Hill Road near Ingram Road Saturday night. That suspect led San Antonio police on a chase before getting away. During the fight, the suspect pulled out a gun and then shot at the victim before taking off from the scene. And then the victim was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Again, police and the shooter did get into a chase, but they eventually lost him. That car was later found abandoned, and the shooter still remains on the loose.
This morning, Governor Greg Abbott vetoed a ban on THC products. Senate Bill 3 would have banned consumable hemp products that contained any synthetic cannabinoid, often known as Delta 8. The move puts him at odds with Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who called the ban one of his top priorities. Patrick slammed the governor's decision on social media, saying that it leaves law enforcement and affected families, quote, feeling abandoned. The governor hinted at a special session where the THC debate could resurface. So right now, more than 8,000 retailers sell hemp products across Texas, in an industry worth $8 billion annually. Veterans groups are praising the governor's decision, saying these products help them manage chronic pain without opioids.
So we're continuing to remember the lives lost, 13 lives specifically, during the June 12 flooding on the north side. 29-year-old Christine Gonzalez is one of those 13 people. She was in the Army Reserves. She was a twin sister and the mother of her 8-month-old daughter. But on June 12th, Justin, who's her fiance, his life changed forever.
I checked her location. It was in the same spot for an hour and 20 minutes. She had a genuine soul, genuine person, genuine love. I love you. I miss you.
Now, since the flooding, Justin has been able to lean on family, friends, and neighbors, but raising their daughter without her mother has been a challenge he couldn't know was coming.
Right outside with live cam this morning, we've got humid conditions, of course. Will we see some more rain this week, and how much is needed to completely get us out of our drought? We're going to take a look at those numbers for you coming up.
Well, coming up, a Know My Neighborhood follow-up, how ACS is working to decrease the number of stray dogs you see in the street. All right, we're back now, 5:12 here on GMSA, so take a look. See, there's a lot of red on here. So the red dots are the number of open calls for services to animal control services.
So the calls are all over the city, but they are heavier in the red central part of the city. In a Know My Neighborhood follow-up, we got our very own Patty Santos live with us this morning to tell us how ACS is working to reduce the calls for stray animals. Good morning.
Hey there, good morning. Well, the first step to helping control the overpopulation is putting spay and neuter clinics right in the communities where this is the biggest problem. Now, this spring, 2 clinics opened up in Las Palmas community and another in the Denver Heights neighborhood.
The goal is really to reduce the overpopulation by sterilizing the animals in the communities where we see the highest volume coming into the shelter.
KSAT clinic manager Chelsea Arch says the need for low to no cost pet services are dire in San Antonio.
We're booked all the way through to the beginning of September right now.
Word has gotten out quickly about the 2 new free clinics, one on the east side and another on the west side. We got a chance to talk to those bringing in their pets to the Castroville Road Clinic.
What does it mean for you to be able to have this clinic on this side of town, or the services that are free?
Good, so I can save some money for the kids instead of the dogs.
The clinics offer spay and neuter services and vaccines for free. Yvette Alvarez needed all of that for her new rescues.
Well, they're brother and sister. They're siblings. This one's Sultan and that's Dolores.
He's here to be neutered. And then that way I can give him to a pit bull rescue, because no one wants to adopt a pit bull, and this is the nicest dog I've ever had to deal with.
Nanette Amador isn't keeping this dog, but she wanted to do her part to make sure he finds a home.
Don't you think he's a pretty dog?
He's a beautiful dog, and like you said, very friendly.
Education, responsible ownership, and accessibility are all the first steps, ACS says, will eventually make it easier to control the overpopulation and roaming animal calls. Since the Westside Clinic opened, more than 300 surgeries have already been performed.
Because there's so many dogs. There's so many dogs in my neighborhood that I see that are just strays, and they're just having more babies, so it's a good thing.
Okay, so listen up. Any San Antonio resident is eligible for these free services. Here are the locations of the new clinics, but you will need to make an appointment by calling 972-472-3500. Daphne?
All right, thank you so much, Patty. Well, starting today, we got a panel to discuss LGBTQ plus rights in Texas. This is a free event taking place at the Geekdom Event Center from 6 to 8 p.m., where organizers say that it's designed to foster visibility, dialogue, and unity. The San Antonio LGBTQ plus Chamber of Commerce is partnering with Pride San Antonio to present Pride Week San Antonio, bringing with it a week of events to celebrate.
All right, let's take a look at the Alamo Dome right here, the Tower of the Americas. And by the way, today is officially the 20-year anniversary of the Spurs' 2005 NBA championship. Can you believe that? Yes, and I will die on the hill that Manu Ginobili should have been the Finals MVP for that series against the Detroit Pistons, but you know what? Love Tim Duncan, by the way. The Spurs would have no titles here without the great Timmy Duncan. All right, that's a shot there of the Tower of the Americas there. Again, 20 years since the Spurs won that 05 title. Cannot believe it has been that long. Let's take a look here at 10 and Hildebrand. Traffic is clearing out here after some overnight construction here on the eastbound lanes of I-10 right there at Hildebrand Avenue. It looks like we are good to go there for our folks on the northwest side of town. And again, biggest delays that we're going to be seeing at the moment is going to be 35 right here at Judson Road. And again, Weidner, a little bit further south here, is going to be blocked off at this moment. So right now, traffic is slowly moving through this one area as we get past Topper Wine for all of our folks that are going towards Live Oak. Now, a little bit further north, we do have some delays over there by Schertz Parkway for our drivers coming south over by Schertz and Cibolo. Take a quick look at our gas price check here, and we're at $2.90 across the city of San Antonio. So that is an increase from just a month ago, about 17 cents. So definitely, if you want to go out and fill out, you definitely want to do that before we get any potentially higher gas prices, as Devin's something that he's going to report on here in just a little bit. So let's go to Alex Gomez right now for the very latest in Drive Cam for us on this Monday morning. Alex, how are we doing, my man?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. Right now I am on the far south side. Check out 410 eastbound. This is right over here by Roosevelt. And right now the far south side still seems to be up to speed. I recently just left I-35 as well. Didn't see much activity going on over there. So we're still doing pretty good. I can't wait for more Spurs championships. Hey, it looks like we're going to have to do it without Kevin Durant now, RJ.
Yeah, this is true. So over the weekend, we learned that Kevin Durant has been traded to a team in Texas. That would not be the San Antonio Spurs, Justin. That would be the Houston Rockets. But it's okay. It's all right. We got Dylan Harper headed our way this week, man.
I think I'm okay with it. I mean, he's 37 years old. Not to say he can't still play, because he can. But, we're building a championship for the future, right? The Spurs schedule comes out, in a couple months? something like that, as we get ready for a new season, considering the one just ended last night. All right, summer rain needed to end the drought. We can put a number to this. These aren't perfect, but it just kind of gives you a general idea that we've gotten a ton of rain. We still need a lot more to dig out of this drought that we were in. So we still need 20 inches for San Antonio points east to technically come out of our drought. 14-inch rain or more, 14 inches of rain or more to come out of the drought there across the southwest, and then 16 inches if you're talking hill country. These are still big numbers, and we need more rain. There's no other way to put it. We do have chances this week, though, and that's the good news. I showed you the water vapor off the top of the show. You see that counterclockwise spin there? We can see it on water vapor in the Gulf of Mexico. That's a little disturbance. We see these from time to time in the summer. They move east to west. Sometimes they can help generate a little bit of rain. We'll have this one, and then there's one on the heels of that will move in later this week. And I think that does bring some small rain chances. Today, not much. But as we get into tomorrow, as this little swirl gets a little bit closer, I think rain chances start to come up a little bit. So we'll do 20% tomorrow afternoon. And then as this second low surges in, I think we'll get a little better moisture. And Wednesday and Thursday may be our best days if we're going to see some of these downpours around the area. So our rain chances, 30% Wednesday and Thursday. But really any day this week, you could see one of these stray downpours, and just know it's not going to put down a lot of rain. It'll move along. So if you have outdoor plans, just let it pass by, give it 20, 30 minutes, and you'll be good to go. Outside, 78 degrees at the airport, 76 in New Braunfels, 77 Converse, 73 Bernie, southerly winds. It is awful humid. In the forecast for today, 87 noontime, 91 at 2 o'clock, 93 will be your high temperature, and heat index values will be up near 100. Hey, I want to pass along that in the tropics, we do have an area here that the Hurricane Center has flagged. In fact, they have pretty good odds of this developing potentially into a tropical storm, but there is really no need to worry here. This is out over the middle of the Atlantic, and it actually goes back to the north and east towards the United Kingdom, not the United States. So we will not have to worry about this, but it is an indication that the Atlantic is starting to heat up a little bit. Extended forecast will basically be low 90s with rain chances each and every day. We saw this last week too, so good to see the rain chances there. And temperatures, there's no triple digits there. We're loving this.
Yes, Lord.
Okay, so I was at the beach this weekend, and I was watching these birds fly way up in the atmosphere, and it got me thinking. This is how I come up with my question.
I love it.
Okay.
I just sit and contemplate these things. But which bird holds the record for the highest flight ever recorded? And yes, this is a thing. Is it the bald eagle, the peregrine falcon, Ruppel's vulture, or an albatross? You can vote. KSAT.com/poll, scan the QR code. Those are some random birds I know.
They are, but yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Expect nothing less from you, Justin.
Of course. Things I think about.
Yeah, no, I love it. That was a little tougher than I would have liked on a Monday, but
Yeah, that's
nonetheless,
fair.
we'll get there. All right, thank you. 5:21 right now, 78 degrees outside.
Okay, so the question out there, if
Yes?
ChatGPT affects your learning skills? Well, we got what a new study says about your engagement and memory retention in today's Tech Bites. Stay with us.
In today's Tech Bites, the growing buzz over the PlayStation 6. Sony's president has announced, quote, the next gen is coming, sparking speculation a new gaming system will be released. Since its initial release back in 2020, the PlayStation 5 has sold 75 million units. Reports say internal documents indicate the PlayStation 6 could be available in 2028. Meta is joining with Oakley to create its next pair of smart glasses. The limited edition specs will cost $500. As with the Meta Ray-Bans, they'll have a camera and open-ear speakers. They'll also work with Meta AI. Pre-ordering begins next month. And finally, a new study from MIT shows that relying on ChatGPT could reduce learning skills. Participants wrote essays using ChatGPT only or using no tools at all. Researchers say those using no tools showed the most cognitive engagement and memory retention. So it turns out using AI really is a no-brainer. Those are your Tech Bites.
5:25 right now. Okay, so today is National Hydration Day. And since our bodies are 60% water, it's important to regularly drink around 8 glasses a day. And National Hydration Day, a reminder that drinking lots of fluids and being hydrated is one of the best things that you can do for your body. If you don't really enjoy the taste of water, you can always infuse it with that cucumber, mint, or lemon to make it more refreshing. Let's stay hydrated on these hot summer days by drinking plenty of those fluids and make it part of your daily routine.
I need to be better at that. All right, as I drink my iced tea. Well, Project Mend will have their first Gear Up for Mobility event on Saturday the 28th to provide mobility equipment to those in need. Donors can bring gently used medical equipment like wheelchairs, rollators, and power scooters from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. to the New Braunfels City Hall. All donations will go to those who need them the most. For more details, just visit ksatcommunity.com.
It is 5:26 right now. We're looking at 78 degrees outside.
Yeah, oil prices are climbing up, and we are keeping track of it all here in San Antonio. Coming up, our Devin Karp is live to tell us about those changes. Next.
To several families out there, a mattress is something sacred. We're in the shelter of Family Promise, a nonprofit that desperately needs your help in continuing their mission of getting homeless families and children off the street. You'll hear firsthand from a client who says that mission changed her life. Coming up on 5:30 right now. Happy Monday, and thanks so much for starting your day off with us on this summer day. It's still like summer, and I'm expecting people to wake up, but then again, if they don't, I understand. I was one of those people to sleep in too.
It's so tempting, right? It's so easy to do, but yeah.
Well, did that last start? It's National Hydration Day?
Yes.
Mint is something you put in water?
See, I've seen people do that.
Are you talking about a mojito or something?
No, I've seen people do that.
That's the only
I
thing
do.
you
Like, for Hydration Day, I would honestly recommend Topo Chico with a little dash of lime.
Oh. There you go.
I just put some ice in my water and call it a day.
There you go.
I ain't trying to be bougie. But yeah, no, I like just, good cold glass of water on a summer day.
Yeah, that's right. On the
Our
rocks.
yards were really hydrated this past weekend.
Oh, they were. We got some good rain on Saturday. Not so much yesterday, but on Saturday. And look, we're still in that pattern. We're still going to see some small rain chances going into this afternoon. 10% chance, a little better chance probably next few days. And temperatures, they have been so consistent. 93 is what we're shooting for this afternoon. And that is average, by the way. So we've been just kind of sitting at average. And coming up here in a little bit, we'll show you how this compares to last year. We're doing way better when it comes to these temperatures. Way better. Forecast heat index today, 99 here in San Antonio. So that's what it will feel like around 4 or 5 o'clock. We're still going to have those heat indices up near 100. But again, it could be so much worse. Heat indices will probably briefly eclipse 100 in places like Eagle Pass and Carrizo Springs. So our rain chances, as I said, not huge today, but there still could be a few downpours. A little better tomorrow and even better yet Wednesday, Thursday. Now, don't get your hopes too high. It'll still be spotty stuff. Not everyone's going to get it, but just good to see rain chances throughout the 7-day forecast. Also good to see my friend RJ over there in the traffic department. What you got?
Hey, yes. Thank you very much for that, Justin. And let's take a look at your TransGuide traffic cameras, because traffic is looking pretty good across the city right now. We just saw there 10 at Woodlawn, no major issues there. After some overnight construction, now northeast side, that's going to be a different story. So we'll show you some of the maps here in just a little bit. 10 at Vance Jackson traffic looking pretty good. And one shot there at Wurzbach Parkway and Northwest Military Highway for all of our drivers on the north side of town. All right, so our major backups right now taking place on the northeast side. No major surprise for any of our folks that are kind of used to the activity that we see here. This is going to be 35 south right here at Schertz Parkway. Seen some backups basically from Selma stretching a little bit past to 3009 and further in as we get closer to Live Oak and Universal City. You see some of the backup there, but it looks like they are starting to move some of that construction activity a little bit further south. Now, situation here inside the loop is a little bit different as we see some major delays over here for our drivers going north right here at Judson Road and Topper Wine. TxDOT still reporting that all the main lanes of the northbound traffic at Weidner Road are still closed. So we have a pretty significant construction delay right here for our drivers on the northeast side of town. That's going to be our biggest issue at the moment as we take you back to the downtown area. As Alex reported earlier, it looks like they switched up the work here at South Alamo Street. That's actually going to be now on the northbound lanes, and the lower level is apparently back open for our drivers that are making their way through south of downtown. Let's go to Alex right now in Drive Cam for us. Hopefully you had a good weekend, my friend. And how are things looking on the roads?
Yeah, very good weekend. Good morning, RJ. And aside from my coffee, I am also staying hydrated out here, RJ. So things are looking good over here on the northeast side. I just made it to 35 North near Randolph Boulevard. Not that long ago, I was on the east side and everything's looking good near 410 I-10 interchange. Now I'm going to head more northeast. I'm going to go up 35 North to Schertz Parkway. I want to see how that construction is looking like this morning, RJ.
Okay, Alex Gum is scanning the streets for us in Drive Cam on this Monday morning. We will check back in with him, guys.
All right, thanks so much, RJ. All eyes are on the Middle East this morning. We began with the latest fallout from the U.S. attack on Iran. President Donald Trump describing the damage as monumental after following through on his campaign promise to ensure that Iran does not become a nuclear power.
And now for the first time, floating the idea of regime change in Iran. Sirens have been sounding again this morning in the Middle East as Israel and Iran exchange rocket fire.
Critics warning about what could come next, with Iran saying that it will retaliate. We got ABC's Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with details.
This morning, the Department of Homeland Security warning of a heightened threat environment in the United States following the attack against Iran's nuclear facilities over the weekend. In a bulletin issued just after Israel began attacks on Iran, the Department of Homeland Security warns that low-level cyber attacks against U.S. networks are likely. ABC's Pierre Thomas on This Week.
The networks mentioned involve U.S. infrastructure, the energy sector, the electrical grid, financial sector. The bulletin urged infrastructure officials to immediately assess their security to make sure their defenses were strong enough to block any malicious activity by Iran.
Concerns are also growing about the Strait of Hormuz, a crucial global shipping lane for oil, with Iran threatening to block shipping. New video this morning shows the moment the U.S. struck one of 3 key nuclear sites in Iran. Explosions heard in the distance as a fireball lights up the night sky. On Saturday, about a dozen B-2 bombers took off from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri for Operation Midnight Hammer. Nearly half of the aircrafts were considered a decoy group heading west towards Guam with trackable movements. A short time later, another group flying in secret took off in the opposite direction, heading to Iran. The planes dropping 14 massive ordnance penetrator bombs capable of penetrating deep underground. The fallout of the strike raising questions of what comes next.
No, we're not at war with Iran, John. We're at war with Iran's nuclear program. We want Iran to give up their nuclear weapons program peacefully.
President Trump now appearing to entertain the idea of a regime change in Iran, posting on social media, "If the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change?" And today, President Trump is scheduled to meet with his national security team in the Oval Office. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And of course, we are keeping an eye on the effects this incident will have here back at home, including the price that you may have to pay at the gas pump.
Last night, crude oil future prices surged among concerns about how global supply would be affected. Our Devin Karp is standing by with a look at what it could mean for your wallet at the gas pump. Devin, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. You know, I'm right over here standing in front of a gas station kind of near downtown, where if you take a look at this, you can see that right now they've got their regular gas prices slated for $2.81. Now, this gas station is just opening up, so everything is getting updated on their machines, but this is among concerns from some experts saying that supply could be affected because of some of the actions that are happening now overseas. This is coming from concerns that Iran might close the critical Strait of Hormuz. Now, that's the choke point between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman that transports around 20% of the crude oil used around the world. Last night, oil future prices surged to about $76 a barrel, with some experts saying it could get as high as about $80 a barrel. Now, we're going to be keeping an eye on this throughout the rest of the day in the markets, on the local economy, to see how issues like this are going to affect your bottom line. We'll have more on that coming up later on this morning for GMSA at 6:30. For now, I'll send it back to you guys. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
All right, sir, thank you. This morning, police are still looking for a suspect who shot and killed a man, as well as the reason as to why it happened. It happened Friday night outside of Bentley's Beer Garden. This is on North Alamo Street and Brooklyn Avenue at around 2:30 a.m. Officers say 2 people were arguing when one of them pulled a gun and shot the other person. Police found the victim, a 32-year-old man, dead when they arrived. And they're now trying to figure out what led up to the shooting again, and also find out where that shooter is.
All right, Texas classrooms about to get a new mandatory addition. Governor Greg Abbott has signed a law requiring the 10 Commandments be displayed in every public school classroom across the Lone Star State. The measure calls for a poster or framed copy, 16 by 20 inches, to be hung in more than 9,000 schools. But there's already pushback. Critics say that it violates separation of church and state and point to Louisiana, where a similar law was just blocked by a federal appeals court. Texas lawmakers who back the bill say it's about preserving historical elements of America's educational and judicial systems.
The Senate is expected to hold a test vote this week on President Trump's domestic policy bill. It's unclear if the U.S. military attack on Iran will change those plans. The president calls it a big, beautiful bill. It would extend the president's tax cuts he signed into law during his first term and provide more money for defense and border security. But the spending plan would also make deep cuts in federal spending and some changes to Medicaid. The Senate is expected to debate the bill once it comes to the floor. That could happen by mid-week.
Outside with Live Cam. Good morning to you. It is 5:38. So we're going to look at some numbers here. Where do our temperatures relate to last year's numbers? Where do they sit? We've got cooler numbers this year, I can tell you that much. We'll dig into the stats coming up.
A car show raising money for a nonprofit. How those funds will be used for veterans.
And speaking of veterans, they chose San Antonio for their yearly reunion. How they chose to leave a thank you here in the city. Coming up. All right, we are standing by with another look at traffic coming up in just a little bit. Alex Gomez will join us at Road Cam with the very latest on your Monday morning commute. And RJ, of course, will break it all down for us coming up.
5:45 right now. This weekend, military veterans and their families from across the globe came together for their yearly reunion.
And they chose San Antonio as their gathering place. Our Devin Karp explains they're leaving behind a permanent sign of gratitude here in Military City, USA.
This is just our way just to honor you for the commitment that you had given to us.
For this crowd, being a part of the military isn't just how they were raised, it's what they grew up in.
The pretext and the premise of us being brats is because our parents were service members. And we basically went along where they went.
And that shared experience is why the Brats All-Area Group was formed, using the internet and social media to bring together a crowd that has more in common than you'd think.
Majority of the people were acquaintances the first time around. Some were old friends that we grew up with. Secondly, when we did it again, they became friends. And now that we're at 10, they're family.
For President Corey Jenkins, this year's reunion is special, coming home to San Antonio, Military City, USA, and seeing Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery, where his father is buried at.
Considering that San Antonio is a military city, we thought about doing something impactful for this community.
That's why this year they fundraised thousands of dollars to plant a tree of life here at the cemetery, dedicating it to the service members who gave the ultimate sacrifice.
So for me, it's a little emotional that as a group we were able to plant this tree here, because people will see this and may not ever meet us in person. However, they'll meet us in spirit when they pass by this tree.
It's something they hope will have meaning for countless families far into the future, but for Jenkins, it will always hit close to home.
It's right in line with where my dad is at right now, so I can always look over here and have two things to remember.
Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
All right, meanwhile, the Gents Place held a car show to raise money for the nonprofit Frontline Heroes Outdoors, which takes veterans on any outdoor excursion that they would like to go on. 72 cars showed up to show off, and around 500 people came out to look and give back to their community. Frontline Heroes Outdoors used the funds that were raised to take veterans hunting, fishing, skydiving, and more, as well as provide them with mental health resources. That was the main goal of the car show, to help spread awareness.
Our nonprofit that takes military members, veterans, first responders, and their family members on any outdoor excursion they want to go on, completely free of charge.
Look at that. Oh, yeah. Motorheads were awed there by 2 McLarens, 10 Lamborghinis, 15 Ferraris, and countless classic cars.
There's something about seeing them classic vehicles that just throws you back, and you're like, man, I wish we had those. I wish that was our style of cars nowadays.
They don't make them like they used to.
They do not.
Now everything is battery operated.
That's true too.
There is a lot of that. There is a lot
Gotta
of that.
charge it up.
Yep.
Buttons and touch screens and everything.
All computers.
Yeah.
Okay, so I put together a countdown for you guys, if you were interested. So 4th of July is 11 days away.
Woo-woo.
Kids, turn away, close your ears. Back to school is 49 days away for most school districts here in San Antonio. I had to throw this one on. This is a personal thing. College football, 68 days away. Labor Day, 70 days away. Fall begins in 91 days. Of course, we just went into summer, of course, so you've got about 91 days until fall begins. And if you were curious, Christmas is a full 185 days away, so you still have plenty of time to plan for that. All right. Speaking of years, let's compare a couple of years here. So this was last year, and these were the temperatures last year at this point. 102, 102, 104, 104. It was brutal. This year, 93, 92, 91, 92, so much better. And I know, look, it's still hot, it's still humid. Hot is hot, but it is better. It is better than it has been. And we've had daily rain chances, so it's just all around a better summer so far. We're only a few days in, but you get my drift. 77 right now, 76 in New Braunfels, 77 Converse, 73 Bernie, 77 right now in Stinson. Our forecast today, 87 noontime. We'll be up around 93 for a high. Just a 10% chance of rain throughout the day. But our rain chances actually do come up a little bit next couple of days, and that's because we get these little disturbances working on the south side of our ridge of high pressure. This first one pulls in tomorrow, so that should bring our rain chances up slightly. We're still talking 20% here, but you'll see some showers kind of spread in from the Gulf. Then as we get into Wednesday and Thursday, another little disturbance rolls in. This one's maybe slightly better position, so it brings our rain chances up a little higher Wednesday and Thursday. In the meantime, there is a ridge of high pressure, that heat high, which is not over us, but it's over the East Coast. And look at the high temperatures today. Places like Washington, D.C., 99. Also, it'll be very humid there. So temperatures actually much warmer here on the East Coast. Detroit, Columbus, Charlotte, Columbia. These are all places that will be hotter than San Antonio today. So that heat high, again, not over us. It's much further east. And our extended forecast, again, we'll go 93 today, 92 Tuesday, 91 Wednesday, 92 Thursday. Very consistent numbers. But the rain chances do start to come up a little bit. I wouldn't get your hopes too high here. As I put in my article, if you were reading on KSAT.com, this is like playing the weather lottery. Some of us will get lucky and get some rain, some of us will not. And most of us, if we do see some rain, we're talking 1/4 of an inch, maybe up to 1/2 an inch at best. But those rain chances go all the way into the weekend, which is, again, great to see. Okay, let's go to Just Ask Justin.
Here we go.
It's about birds. Again, I saw some birds at the beach, and I was intrigued. So my question to you is, which bird holds the record for the highest flight ever recorded? Is it the bald eagle, peregrine falcon, Ruppel's vulture, or the albatross? Right now, albatross has got the most votes. But you go to ksat.com/poll, scan the QR code, let us know what your guess is.
It has the coolest name, too. Albatross.
You like that?
Yeah, pretty smooth.
Okay.
How are we looking on the roadways, RJ?
Well, traffic is looking pretty good. And speaking of birds, Justin, I saw your countdown there. We are talking about college football. UTSA opening up at Texas A&M on August the 30th.
Kyle Field.
Kyle Field, and then coming back home to take on my Texas State Bobcats. So that's going to be a fun one there. I-35 River. I think UTSA still has that 35% off discount going on for that home opener against the Texas State Bobcats. Either way, it should be a great start to the season for both programs, including your Aggies as well, Justin. Take a look here at Wurzbach at 281 right there. On the north side of town, traffic is looking pretty good. 10 at Woodlawn, we have cleared out some overnight construction in that one particular spot. And same situation there, 35 at Judson. There were reports of a stalled vehicle right here at 35 at 1604, and we're seeing some backups there for all of our drivers coming down from Selma, Schertz, Cibolo, this one spot here on the northeast side of town. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that situation, but our cameras are looking pretty good out there. Let's give you a little bit more of a view here for our drivers a little bit further northeast here, all the way up to FM 3009. Still some delays here for some of our folks coming southbound 35 past Schertz Parkway over by, again, FM 3009 Roy Richard Drive, making their way all the way through parts of Live Oak and Universal City. All right, let's take you back right here. We just saw that shot, the 35 at Judson Road, so we can get you back to the downtown area. And again, our biggest delay is going to be right here, basically South Alamo to South Laredo Street. The upper levels now being affected. It looks like the lower levels are good to go for our drivers making their way through downtown. Let's go to Alex Gomez as we give you one look here at our inbound drive times. Alex is in the northeast side of town, I believe. Alex, what's the very latest out there?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. I just put myself through that slowdown on the northeast side. This is 35 southbound coming up to the Forum Parkway, and it took me about 10 minutes to get here from Evans Road, so just keep that in mind. The northbound lanes, however, on I-35 have reopened and has no issues on 35 north. RJ.
Okay, thank you very much for that update. Yes, 36 minutes right now if you're coming in from New Braunfels into the metropolitan part of San Antonio. Guys, back to you.
All right. Thank you so much. It is 5:54 right now, 77 degrees outside.
More GMSA to come here in just a little bit. Don't go away. All right, quick break for us. Much more to come here, top of the hour on GMSA.
Coming up, we got a follow-up on our KSAT promotions producer about her journey with running, how her training for the San Antonio Marathon is going.
All right, Drive Cam out and about. Alex Gomez is standing by, and Justin will break down rain chances for, well, today and the rest of the week at the top of the hour. Don't go away.